simple application. I'll build a simple application. I'm sure you appreciate this more. So what I tried to do the last time was just to explore, was just to take you through the PowerApps Studio to see some of the things, how the environment looks like, to compare it with, the Microsoft Office that you are conversant with. Just to show you the environment. And I expect that by now you should also have done that. You should have gone through that environment, the studio environment, to see some of the functionalities, the controls, the gallery, forms, properties, and everything they are expecting you to have explored by now. But for you to appreciate this more, I want to build a simple application. And let me say registration. Let's say, okay, as somebody who wants to learn this PowerApps, let's say that I want to build a form where I can get details of interested persons, like an expression of interest. So let's call it that way. So let's say we want to build something like that. I will share my screen right away. Let me share. So the first thing you need to do when you are building something of this nature, let's say like expression of interest, does anyone know what you can use to create such form? Do you know any application that you can use to create such form apart from using these PowerApps? Do you have any idea of well, you can use Microsoft Form, you can use Google Form, you can use Cognitive Form. There are so many forms you can use, okay? But let's assume that I want to build this an application now. So I want people to be able to, apply. Hold on a second, please. Okay, sorry for the break. So as I was speaking, can you hear me? Please confirm.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. So like I said, so when you are building like a, let's say, expression of interest, for instance, I want to express interest in learning Power Apps. So I need to get your details. So the first thing that details of this person needs to be signature. Number one is your phone. Who else can also mention one thing? What else do you need? Hello? What else do I need apart from first name? I want you to also suggest what do I need? Hello, please stop, please stop, please stop.
Other names, address, and the likes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I will come to now. Let me, because you guys you don't understand what SharePoint is. And if you remember, I said that different data sources that we can use. And one of them is SharePoint list. Please note, one of them is what? SharePoint list. You can also use Microsoft Dataverse. You can use Dataverse. You can use SQL. There are so many data sources. You can even use Excel. Viola, just like you said, in the tutorial that you were following, you made use of, they made use of Excel. So you can use Excel as your data source. But for the purpose of this, we're going to look at using SharePoint list. Now, SharePoint list, like I said, is like a data source, like a table where you store your data. It has rows, it has records and fields. Now, I go to SharePoint. If you check your environment too, you can navigate to SharePoint. So once I come to this place, I'll go to this wheel on the top. So I'll go to all site content. Now I'm able to see some of these things because of the kind of permission I have. If you do not have a permission that allows you to create, you won't be able to do that. So please note. So once I come to this place, remember what I'm trying to build is what? Expression of interest for whoever wants to learn Power. So I'll go to new, then I'll go to list. You can see the different options here, but what I'm concerned about is the list. Okay, so it shows me different. So you can see other templates that here, issue tracker, employee onboarding, itinerary, asset. But what I want, you can choose any of these ones and create your own just for, just for getting your hands dirty, right? But let me use blank list. So once blank list means that it's a blank list, I'm the ones to now create the different fields that I need. So I'll call this expression. I'll say Power Apps. Okay. So I'll just say create Power Apps OEI. That's the expression of interest. Okay, awesome. So it's created. Now, the moment you create a blank list, there's a column that comes with it by default. It's called the title column, which you can obviously see here. It comes with a title column, and this title column is a compulsory column. So you can also create your own column based on what you want. So one of the columns that we want is what? First name. Now, if I click on add column, you see the different options that it brings out: single line of text, multiple line of text, location, number, as the case. Now, there are different type of columns. Now, because you want to create a first name column, ordinarily we should use single line of text, because a single line of text is like a text field that just taking letters or combination of letters and numbers, as the case may be. Multiple lines take more text than single line. Location, as the name implies, is used for storing location. Number is used for storing number. Yes or no is if you need to make a decision. If the column is just for yes or no, Person is for if you need to specify the name of the person within the organization. Date and time. Choice, maybe like for instance, gender, male or female, So, but for my first name, I'm going to choose single line of text. So I'll say first name, then I'll do save. Okay. The second one that I need is what? So I'll say last name, then I'll do save. The third one that I want is what's it called? Okay, let's say phone number. So this one, I'm going to be using single line of text, because if I use number, the first 0 will be chopped off. So I'll use single line of text preferably. Okay. So the next one that I will do is email. Let's call it email. Okay. So I'll save this. The next one is, what else do we need to capture for the person?
Age.
What else? Do we need the person's age? Is it necessary?
Yes.
Really? Why?
So
what we might probably want to
data.
Okay, age. Okay, well, because we really do not need the age, because if you get the age, you only need age when it is important. Okay, we want to know the age of this person, so that we probably want to make a decision from it, But let's assume that, okay, let's say we need to capture the person's gender, because we want to know
gender.
Yes, so gender in this case, because we want to know the number of females and male that are on this. So I'll say male. Recall that I use choice option instead of single line of text. So here I'll specify male and female. So that means the person is restricted to just picking male or female. So I'll save this. So the next one I can pick is, okay, let me just add this. I will say what can I say? I'll say profession. Let me just add this for the last one. So I'll say profession, IT or non-IT, because I want to be able to know if the person is already in IT or a non-IT person. So I'll just save this. Okay, so that's cool. Now, I haven't done this. I haven't created. Let's assume that these are all the columns so it's important that when you are creating your application, you need to put down in Notepad all the columns that you need. Okay, which is important. Now, this title column, for instance, we don't really need it. So what do we do to it? Recall that I said this column is a compulsory column, but I don't want it to be compulsory. So how do I change that? So what I will just do is I'll click on this wheel on the top, go to list settings. I'll go to list settings. So upon coming to this place, you would see that this column called the title column is a required field, which this check mark is representing. So I'll click on the title column. Okay. Then I'll make it require that this column contains information. I'll say no. If I also need to change the name of this title column, I can change it, but I can also leave it. So let me just leave it. Then I'll click OK. So I've made it optional instead of compulsory. Now, if you wish in your application, if you wish to make all these fields compulsory, it's possible. Okay. If you wish to make them, and if you don't want them, if you don't want to make them compulsory here, you can make them optional here. But on your application, you can make them compulsory. Either way works. But the best bet for me that I prefer is that I make them optional here, then compulsory in my app. Okay. So I haven't done this. Now look at the magic that we're going to create our app easily from here. So I'll just go to I'll go to integrate. Okay. Then I'll go to Power Apps. Then I'll do create an app. So I'll call this Power Apps EOI, expression of interest. It's still the same, this, or I can full, if I say I should full it, expression of interest. Okay. Then I'll create. So look at the magic. You see the magic it will use to create it almost immediately. So let's wait for it while this creates. So if you're having issues at this point creating this, it probably means that your internet is slow. So you need to make it, you need to have a stable internet, okay? So we wait for it to create. So while it is creating, I can take 1 or 2 questions while it is creating. Hello. So that means you guys are fine, Abby. Okay, no problem. So we'll just wait for this to do.
Sorry, hello. It's good. Hello.
Can you mute the mic, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Please, for the purpose of those of us that are just joining, which process are we building?
Which what?
Which process are we building for the purpose of those of us that are just joining? Okay.
Yeah. So what we're building is so we're assuming that yes, we are building an expression of interest form. So okay. I'm assuming that okay. So this training is purposely for us to upskill in Power Apps. So I want to put out a form there for people to apply, right? So when you're building a form, for instance, what are the fields that you need to have on your app, and how do you build it? So that's what we did. So what we did was first to create our database, which is our SharePoint list, create columns. Then now we automatically created our app from that list. Now our app has been created. This is how simple it is, guys. This is how simple it is. So let me play it. Let me walk around it for you to see. So if I click on this plus, I'm able to add details. So let me say title. Let me say Mr. Ibrahim Ido. Okay. Phone number, mail ibscript@yahoo.com. My gender. So my gender is male. My profession IT. Okay. So do I have an attachment? I don't have an attachment, so I can save this. And this creates automatically. Can you see? So it saves my details. If I go back to my list, right, let me refresh this. You see that it drops here. So can you see this? You can see how easy this is. You can see how easy it is. I have not written any line of code. What I've just done was just to create my SharePoint list automatically I created my app from it. So this is my app. If I need to add another person, let me say Mr. Abiola, phone number, email, so I just save this. So I have two records, right? So I have two records of two people now. So it is that easy. When I come back to this place, you see it has dropped. Okay. So let me go back to my app. Let me open this. So this is my app now that we have built. Now, if I need to make some changes around this, okay, let's say I want to create like an home screen such that when somebody opens the app, what I first see is what? I first see like a welcome screen. So all I need to do is just to do a new screen. And if you look at this place, you see different templates, okay? You see different templates that I can use, easy, right? So I need a blank screen, okay? So from what I usually preach, whenever you create a screen, please rename it immediately. So I'll rename this to what? Welcome screen. So I've renamed this, right? So I haven't done that. I would go ahead to add labels. So let me add a label. So this my label will be, if I come to text here, inside this quote, I'll just say Power Apps expression of interest, expression of interest. Okay, so I can place it very well. I'll go to home, increase the font to like 32, okay, make it bold. Okay, then I'll increase this. Maybe I usually like Lato Light. That's my font. Then I can centralize. I mean, these are all the things that we usually do in Microsoft Word and Excel and the likes, you know. So you can see I need to pad it. I can also pad it so that okay, it's looking cool this way, but let me see. If you need to pad it, padding means leaving space at both sides of the screen. Okay. So I've padded it. So expression of interest. Let me see. Is it bold? Okay, let me give it semi-bold. Or let me bold it. Then if I need to put an image, I can also put, okay, I can also, let me put a button. So this button, I just put it here, okay. So on this button, I can say continue, okay. If I need to increase the radius, I'll come here, border radius, I'll just say 50, okay. Okay, continue, right? So all these are just aesthetics. So we have the, so do we need to give it background color? We can come here, give it a background color of, let's see, something like this. Okay. So another thing I want to do, I want to insert a welcome so person. So on this label, I'll just do welcome. Okay, welcome. But apart from saying welcome, I want it to show the person who is currently opening the app. So how do I do that? I will join this string with an and. This and is called ampersand. It's called what? Ampersand. So I want it to capture the person who is currently logged in. So we use a function called user, open bracket, close bracket, dot. So in programming, they call this an object. Object in the sense that it has different things inside it. So you have email, full name, image. So in PowerApps, so you call it a function. No, I mean, it's actually an object. So don't let me mistake. Let me. So if you once you write that, it shows you can capture the person's email, the person's full name, the image of the person. But in this case, we just need the person's full name. So I'll just select the person's full name. So it shows up now. You can see welcome. So I need to put a space here. So it says welcome Ibrahim. Okay. So I put it somewhere here. Okay. I put it somewhere here. I can actually centralize it if I so wish. Central. Okay. Can I make it? Can I give a background color of white? I mean, So, okay, welcome Ibrahim and Lato. Increase the font 20. Oh, wow, it's too small. Let me give it 28. So let me preview it. So you can see paths, expression of interest, you know. You can also insert an image. So what I want to do, if I play this now, if I click this, you see that it's not doing anything, right? It's not doing anything. Why? Because there's no action behind the button. So, but I can link this button to my browse screen. So how do I do that? I'll go to action on select, okay? I'll remove this first and say navigate. Navigate to where? Where am I navigating to? Browse screen 1, okay? Then I'll close it. Okay, so let me click on this. So when I click continue, it takes me to this place. Okay, so you can see it's as easy as that. Let me go back to my welcome screen. Let me play this, continue. It takes me to this place. So now the question is, if I need to go back to that home page, what do I do? Okay, so these are some of the things that you need to reason as a developer. You need to look at how to put things together such that the user who will be using this would have a good experience, and that's what they call user experience. There's one thing we call user interface, and there's another thing we call user experience. User interface is the look and feel of your application, but the user experience is the experience or how the person using the application feels. You know, if I come to an app, I'm able to navigate without any help. That's what they call a good user experience. But if I come to an app, I navigate to this place, for instance, I want to go back to the home screen, there's nothing taking me back. You know, that's probably like a bad user experience. I won't be gingered to come back to use this app. You know, that's why when you're building your app, it's important that you put user interface and user experience at the forefront, I mean at the fourth burner, such that your users are happy. So to go back to that place, what do we do? So what I can do is, this thing I selected is actually called a gallery. So what I can do, I can shift this up a bit, then bring a button. Let me insert a button now. So I'll bring this button down here. I'll extend it at both ends, right? So once I do that, I can now say, I can say home. Well, I can call it home, so that if we click it, I don't want the radius on the side, so let me remove the radius. I don't want the border, I'll remove the border. Okay, so home. So what happens if I click this? I'll go to action, on select, navigate. You should do what? Navigate back to my welcome screen. Okay, I'll click this. Okay, so when I play this, when I click home, it takes me back to this. When I click continue, it takes me here. Home, it takes me here, here. So that's sorted, done and dusted. Okay, so this I can adjust it back. Okay, yeah, so this is cool. Now, I haven't done that. If you look at this, this is called a gallery. If you look at the what I have on this site, it's called browse gallery. So the control here is actually called a gallery. What's the gallery used for? You use it to pull data. I mean, to display data from any data source. It could be a collection. A collection is also a temporary data source within PowerApps. It could be from SharePoint list, which this one is fetching from. It could be for, you know, from the different data sources that exist. So the first cell here, when you select your gallery, you see there's a pencil at the top left here. It's called the first cell. So it allows you to, whatever thing you do within this first cell, replicates down, you know. So if you look at this Mr., for instance, it's taking the full width. I can, you know, I can change because it's saying this item dot title, which is the title column in the SharePoint list. This one is saying this item dot first name, which is the first name in the SharePoint list. Why this last one is this item dot last name. So which other columns do we have? I can insert within this place. Now let me insert another label. So once I insert a label, I will adjust it to stay somewhere else, to stay up here. Okay, see now, this one pick this item dot phone number. So you can always, whatever you add here will reference what's in your SharePoint list, and it will cascade down. So this is actually the phone number. Let me give it a good font. Let's see, what's this font? This is 18, so let me give it 18 too. Let me give it 18, 18. Okay, so let me adjust it. So you can see this way. I can also decide to copy and paste. If I copy and paste, it will duplicate. I'll bring it down here. So I want it to show, instead of this, I want it to show the gender. So I say gender. Now, if you will see, I said this item of gender, and the thing is showing us red. Why? Who can tell us why this is showing red? If you look at this, we said this item dot is this item dot phone number, and it worked. But this gender is showing red. You can see, and it's underlining it. Who can try? Who can try? Just try. I have 5 seconds. If nobody's answering, I'll just go ahead. 5 seconds. Who can guess? I don't want an experienced person, please.
There's no apostrophe there.
You said
There's no apostrophe there.
Well, a good try, but that's not it. Now, I want you to recall, go back to how we create. Remember that gender, first name, column names, all are not the same. Remember. So, why do you think gender is showing?
It's because let me see. It's because choose option. It has 2 options.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, it is because gender. You try. I mean, a good attempt, and I appreciate that. Because gender is a choice column. Others are what? Single line of text. You understand? So when it comes to choice column, so after doing this item dot gender, you have to put dot again, dot value. Something else is still in front of dot value. You understand? So that's why. So like I said, if it's a single line of text, this item dot, the name of the column suffices. But if it's a choice column, it has to be this item dot, the column name dot value. And you see that that's what we have here. Okay, so I mean, so this works. So let's add another one. Let's add another details. Okay. Okay. Let me say Mrs. Let me say Cassie. Let's say non-IT. Okay, gender, let's say female. So I'll just save it. So you can see it. So it showed here. Okay. So I can come back home. I can click on home. I can go back here, continue. So I haven't done this. If I click on this particular arrow here now, if I click here, it will show me the details of this, which you can see. So I can click on this one to edit it and say, okay, it's no more Idowu, but Adeniyi. Okay, then I'll save it. Okay, so it's showing Adeniyi. If I go back here, I'll see it now. It's now showing Adeniyi. If I also wish that, no, I don't like this, I want to delete, I can delete this. Okay, it's deleted. I mean, so if you go back to the SharePoint list now, if you refresh, you see, you only see 2 records. So it's that easy, okay? So I mean, there are lots of things that you can do. If I click on this plus, so let's assume that these attachments, we don't really need it, right? So there are 2 ways to remove it. Is it I hide it? Is it I hide it by clicking on visibility, visible on or off? I'll off it. Okay, you can see it's off. Okay, or I totally remove it from the data source. How do I access the data source? I'll click on this form. Then I'll come to fields, edit fields. So you will see all the fields here. You can see the attachment. So I can click here to remove it. So I can do is that I remove it here or I just hide it. So either way works. So you can see this is what we have. I mean, so that I don't bug you too much. I mean, so that you can probably study, practice this and all of this. So I'll just take question and yeah, we'll call it this thing. Okay, so let me call questions, and if you have any, if perhaps you have any issue, just let me know. All right. Thank you, guys.
Hello, thank you very much, Aske. Thank you. My question is this: how is this gallery? How is it linking to our display screen?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
These are gallery, right?
This is a gallery. Yeah, sure.
Yes, you have a display screen. Can you please explain the connection between this our gallery and our display?
Okay, now
screen, our detail screen.
Detail screen. Now, this icon here, this icon that you can see here. Okay, so when I click on it, what it does is it takes me to the display, to this screen. So let me show you the screen. This is the detail screen. This is where it takes me to. If I click on this screen, this form, there's a property of this form that is called item. There's a property of this form that is called what? Item. So what the item is for is that it wants you to state which item is to display. Now let me go to that property called item. You see this is item. It's still loading. Okay, so can you see it now? It's called browse gallery 1.selected. Okay, if you come to this place, you will see the gallery. The name of this gallery was browse gallery 1, and whatever anything you select here is what it will display. That's why it says browse gallery 1.selected. You understand? So if you come to this form, you know the item equal to browse gallery 1, which is the name of the gallery dot selected. That is, whatever thing I select within that gallery is what it should display the details here. So that is why when I click on this icon, it says select parent, you know. So what it does is it takes me to that that detail screen. Then the item now, I mean what I've selected here, the details shows up on that form. So that's what's linking the two together.
Okay, thank you. Another one. What part of this gallery do we have the navigate function of this icon? Hello, did you get me?
Okay. Any other question?
Did you get my question?
I didn't get that. No.
As in, what part of this arrow, what part of property of this arrow do we have to navigate function? Because it's not on select right now. So we may want to try, some people may not try later on.
What part of this is what?
What part of the property of this arrow, this forward icon, do we have the navigate expression?
No, you don't need to have the navigate. You don't need to have the navigate. It is actually this that is doing the work. The select parent. It's the select parent that is doing that work.
Okay. Understand? Okay.
It is select parent that is doing that work. Yeah. Any other person? Okay. So it seems every other person is fine. All right. Thank you. So I want to charge us, try and do something, and share it on the group if you have any challenge, any issue or whatsoever. So thank you for joining the session. See you some other time. Bye.
Thank you, bro. Recording available, please.
I beg, kindly make the recording